Los Angeles, California. In the background over there on this lovely day here in sunny Southern California. Let's see if we can get a better view of that. All right, very cool. Okay, so when you think about famous kids that had money stolen from them, right? Had their fortunes pilfered, whether it be from their own parents or a family friend or just a person who's supposed to manage their money. So a couple names will come to mind. You think of Shirley Temple. She was robbed as a little kid. You think of Aaron Carter. That sad story. You think of Gary Coleman. Another tragic tale. Corey Feldman, right? You got a lot of these famous kids, whether they were actors or singers, who made lots of money, who basically propped up their parents. And those ones closest to them that were entrusted with their fortune, well, it was swindled. This might be one of the worst stories, and that involves Jackie Coogan. Jackie Coogan, of course, I believe people probably know him best as Uncle Fester from the Addams Family. He was only on TV for a couple of years. But before Uncle Fester, Jackie Coogan was a very, very, very famous child actor in Hollywood. As a matter of fact, he was called America's favorite boy. This guy was insanely popular. So Jackie Coogan was born October 26, 1914, here in Los Angeles, to Henry Coogan and Lillian Coogan. Now, his father was a vaudeville actor / performer. And not even barely, this kid is a year and a half and he was already in movies. So it was almost like his father was just propping him up to be the next big thing, and he most certainly was. So he got his big break because Jackie, when he was about 5 or 6 years old, he was performing at a theater, and guess who was in attendance? Well, it was Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin sees this kid doing the shimmy, which was a popular dance at the time, and he says, I like you. I give you a chance to perform. So he puts him in a 1919 movie called A Day's Pleasure. And after that, he would perform in several other movies. His first big movie was 1922's Oliver Twist, right? And this kid, now mind you guys, we don't have TV yet. So for Americans to enjoy entertainment, we're all going to the movie theaters. So this kid's face is all over the place. Other than Oliver Twist, he was in Mark Twain, Huckleberry Finn, just a lot of other movies. And he was also in Charlie Chaplin's movie, The Kid. And that's what really propelled him to stardom. And they were like merchandising this kid's picture. I mean, this kid's picture was everywhere. Every single movie theater had this kid's movie poster. People were making toys off of him, out of him. They were peanut butter jars with his face on it. Whistles, like little kids' toys, absolutely everywhere. And he was so popular that MGM signed him to a $500,000 movie contract. It's a lot of money back, even in today's standards, that's pretty damn good money. On top of the $500,000, he would also get 60% of the profits from the movies that he starred in. You have a kid that's barely 9 years old, making $20,000 a week. What do you think the parents were doing? You think they were working normal jobs? No, he was their job. He bought his parents a house not too far from here. It's on the corner of Wilshire and Western. Maybe one day we might go check that house out, or maybe I'll show it in this video. I have no idea, because it kind of depends on what I do. And he was one of the very first people in Hollywood to have a pool, their own pool in their own backyard. That is quite incredible. So as he's making movies and making money, he's getting a little older. And like most child actors, the transition from acting as a child to an adult, it sometimes can go smoothly. Sometimes people are tired of you. You're no longer a cute kid. You're a geeky teenager. But he was still working. Now, tragedy would hit the Coogan family about 5 months before he turns 21. Jackie went on a hunting trip just across the border to Mexico with his father and his friend and 2 other people. It was a ranch hand, and I believe it was a writer and a Hollywood actor. So all people, they're all in this car, 5 people deep, and they're driving down the highway. And I guess it was one of those 2-lane roads. Let's pretend this is it. So they're driving on this side and the other car is driving on this side. Well, the car crosses kind of over in their lane, not going to hit them head on, but to the point where Henry had to move out of the way, and he goes off into an embankment, and the car kind of crashes down down an embankment similar to this, and all those people died. I mean, very, very sad story. His friend that died, Junior Durkin, he was an actor himself, and the guy that their ranch had, Charles Jones, he died in the crash, and along with Robert Horner, who was the actor that died. So Jackie suffered pretty bad injuries. Now your father's dead, your friend's dead, and 5 months later he turns 21. Now back in those days, we didn't really have what we have now in terms of rights for child actors to prevent the family members or their parents from stealing them, robbing them blind. But we didn't have that back in those days. So this is what's gonna absolutely piss you off, and this is what pissed me off. Check this out. So by the time father's already been dead 5 months, he goes to his mother Lillian, right? And now at the time they have an attorney / financial advisor, right? His name is Arthur Bernstein. His mother would later go on to marry this guy. So he's 21. He can't wait to get his money, because right now he has about almost $4 million, according to calculations from what he's earned, right? So he's earned about $4 million, which today's money would be about 50 million. So he goes to his mom and he's like, yeah, I'd like my money. And she goes, you don't have any money. You don't have any money. And she tells him, promises were never made to give you anything, right? Promises were never made to give you anything. So this guy has $4 million that his mom is holding back from him. So he takes her to court, right? So they have a few years long battle over the money that he earned, and his mom won't give it to him. Well, finally, the judge sides, of course, with Jackie. So he thinks he's going to get $4 million, right? No. All that was left was $250,000. His mom and dad, they pilfered damn near his entire fortune on trips, cars, jewelry, dinners, furs, nonsense. So after he pays his lawyer fees and the money back from that he would borrow from the attorney to live off of while he's fighting his mom in court, This guy has $126,000 to his name. Incredible. So after that, I might have to do a separate video on this woman, or at least put her in a Faces in Death, because that is incredible. She just wouldn't give him his money. She's like, oh, that was my money. Like I took care of you, so I'm that's rightfully my money. That is absolutely insane. So afterwards, during this court battle with his mom, trying to get his own money back, he would meet one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood and marry her, Betty Grable. But of course, they dated for about 6 months, and they got married in 1936, and they were divorced just about a year later. So look, probably the stress of that court case might have even been the cause of their divorce. Who knows? But I believe both Betty and Jackie would go on to marry several different times in their lives. Betty Grable, we will be doing a video about her in the future. Absolutely gorgeous and talented actress and singer. So later on, Jackie, he would get like little tiny bit parts here and there. So after World War II, or after Pearl Harbor, the Pearl Harbor bombing during World War II, Jackie enlisted in the Air Force. And so he is a World War II vet. His job, get this, he was sent out to India, right? They're fighting they called it the Burmese campaign against the Japanese. This guy was a glider pilot. So in World War II, in certain situations, we would have these gliders, right? There's no engine, it's just a glider. So a plane would tow a glider, right? So imagine you're just towing a glider, and they would cut the rope or cut the cable that was towing the glider, and basically they would glide with troops and guns into enemy territory. Now, they did this because a glider had no motor, so it would be quiet when going into enemy territory, and it was a lot quicker to get a small concentration of troops into one area versus have a bunch of troops, just jumping out of a plane, and you got all their parachutes scattered out everywhere. So they would pack 50, 75 guys in a glider, and piloting a glider down, it was basically like a brick with wings. Okay, this thing, it ain't like the gliders that you see today on YouTube. No, these things would just basically sink. So when they cut the cable that was towing the glider, you had about 20 seconds to find out where you were going to land. That was a very, very dangerous job. As a matter of fact, they call those flying coffins, because of all the people that would die. Because basically, it was almost like just incredible. It's just incredible. So after getting out of the military, he would later go on to, do nothing really significant. If anybody is a big fan of old TV shows, he was on a TV show called Cowboy and G-Men for 2 seasons, 1952 and 1953. Now, of course, he had a pretty successful career, especially when he was a kid. But of course, his mom and dad robbing him blind. He is best known, in my opinion anyways, as Uncle Fester on Addams Family, like I said earlier. And other than that, he's been on several TV shows, Red Skelton, The Brady Bunch, I Dream of Jeannie, Partridge Family, Hawaii Five-0. So he kept pretty busy as he aged in Hollywood. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I had no idea this guy was so famous as a child. I had no idea. Of course, I know who Uncle Fester is. I mean, who doesn't? But I did not know. Absolutely incredible. This is the grave of John Leslie Coogan. And he died March 1st, 1984 of heart failure. He was in very, very poor health. He was 69 years old when he died. And just in bad health, and just truly a sad story of a very, very well-known and famous actor. And let me tell you something. Even though I did not know this before, I was like looking stories up to do while I was out in California. I had to do this because I just felt anger towards that woman that he called his mother, her screwing him over like that. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. But other than that, pretty successful career. And even though the Addams Family only ran for a couple seasons, very, very popular show in syndication. And of course, they came out with the movie later on. But rest in peace to John Coogan. Absolutely incredible. Okay, guys. Well, I'm out of here. I'm hitting the road. There's an interesting story, a part of Jackie's life that I want to cover when I get up north. I was going to include it in this video, but I think that might be a separate video. So we'll wait until we go back to California again in the future. All right, guys, I'm out of here. See you on the next video. Peace out.